Before we begin, a quick note about something that's been paramount in my mind and heart for the better part of the year, but also the last 10, 11 years, and that of demyelination and multiple sclerosis. The National MS Society is a collective of passionate people who want to do something about MS now. The MS Society is the largest private funder of MS researchers in the world. They invest more than $1 billion to date. As we all know, multiple sclerosis is comprised of unpredictable and often disabling flare ups of the central nervous system. Such flare ups disrupt the flow of information within the brain and between the brain and the body. MS stops people from moving, but the National MS Society exists to make sure that MS doesn't. To contact the National MS Society, please call 1 800 344 4867. Again, 1 800 344 4867. Or go to their website at nationalmssociety.org. Thank you to all of you who have donated money to this amazing organization, but also those of you that have just went to the National MS Society to learn more about multiple sclerosis and demyelination. It touches me and over the 1 million people in this country that have multiple sclerosis in so many ways, and we appreciate all of you. And on that,
it's time to talk.
Hang on one second. Of course this happened. Good evening, or good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you may be, and welcome to VF Talks. I am John Venturini, or JV, and that is a cantankerous Triceratops who thinks he's a T-Rex. And it's an honor and pleasure to see all of you tonight on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. We fixed the sound because there was no opening music, but thanks for the heads up. We appreciate it. And let's see who wins the door prize tonight. That will be Jamie. Jamie says, heya. I say heya to you. Hope you're doing well. We got Rich from over the ocean that says, hey all. Hey Jamie. Hey Laura. Hey Rich. How you doing? We got Austin who says, hey JV. Hey Matt. We got Laura who says hello. Hello Laura. Hope you're doing well. We got Mark who says, hey all. Hope you're doing well over there. And yeah, we fixed the sound. It's all things YouTube. Thanks for the heads up. I wonder who that could be. Could it be? I don't know. Mahas?
Hey, how you doing, John?
Oh, I'm doing well.
Hi, everybody out there
I know
in
you.
the forward land.
I know you wanted to stretch. You want me to play the opening music so you can go stretch, or
No,
okay.
We're committed now, brother.
We're pot committed now, aren't we?
You know it.
Oh man. Rich says a cantankerous little Triceratops. If you call him little though, he gets really mad. So I'd be very careful about that sort of wording. I mean, it's like don't call Rex little. He's far from he's little. He's little. All right, moving right along. How's your Friday looking, Matt?
Oh my goodness, I have been having a blast. It's been one of the best Fridays, and I didn't leave the house. I was off work, but I went to work the first couple hours of the day because there was a training session, and I love training sessions, because a lot of live streaming is the same as training. People love when I do training, so I'm like, this is a pretty critical thing. So I went to work for fun, my full-time job for funsies, and then doing some things around the house. I was just on a killer show over on James Hicks's channel. He
You
has a
did
YouTube channel
fantastic.
called James Hicks, and it was me and James and 2 other awesome content creators, and we talked about show prep and making content. It was on fire. It was one of the best shows as a co-host I've done in a while, present company excluded.
Hey, you know what? It was a great show, and if you said that was it was really well done. You
Yeah,
did phenomenal over there. It was part 2. It was the second part of that.
yeah.
I wonder if there's going to be a third part of it.
Yeah. The only thing is, he doesn't have my image on screen when the live stream first starts. Therefore, I won't restream pair it with my YouTube channel, because I don't want to confuse my audience having someone who's not me appearance. So he's not doing that. So it did go on my Awesome Fun Things Facebook page. No one knows I have it. There's 18 people that liked it, but it did restream there just for posterity. But no, it's great. I'm doing great. I feel great. I'm down even more. I told you yesterday I lost a little bit more weight, and I'm keeping it steady. And I was outside today. I did a little bit of property. I raked some leaves, but it was fun just to get out in the clean air and do some things. And I practiced some of my music, and yeah, no, I'm having a blast. How is your Friday, and how has your week been?
I tell you, today was a very strange day. Fridays have usually been very strange lately. There used to be an adage I used to always use, say Friday's the new Monday. This Friday didn't disappoint. However, I did get that me time in the morning. I went to the gym. I spun. I did a lot of cardio, and when I came back for my weigh-in for the week, I was pleasantly surprised. Although one may argue, John, now it's borderline too much weight. I made my stretch goal. I made my super goal. I'm down 310 now.
Wow, congrats, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. So I'm at 170 now. I was at 480 in January of 2019. And over the course of nearly 3 years, I've lost 310 pounds.
Amazing.
Thank you, man. And the body fat's down to 13.5%. So it's like, it was, the scale did not disappoint by any stretch of the imagination this morning.
Good deal. Well,
lots of hydration though.
Yeah. Hey, there's literal coffee in my cup. I have some caffeine issues, but I'm like, I broke down. I got me the Starbucks, and I'm just like,
if I have another coffee, it would be illegal. I had my 6-shot Americano this morning. I probably had another coffee or two. I cannot have more coffee the rest of the day.
Dear Lord.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do that, but had some interesting things happen during the week I can share.
Go for it.
So, I don't know if it's just society or the way my life is structured, but everything comes due at the end of the year in November and December. The auto insurance and the getting the cars through the inspection, and my expensive piano app, and my expensive Restream, and my expensive Ecamm, like all these one-time a year bills sort of come in, and money's just falling off the table. And I just paid $1,000 to get my car inspected, and I still have 600 in optional things that should get done.
600 in optional things.
Yeah. And then my wife's car, she's like, look, I need new tires. I know I'm going to need new tires. So how much is new tire? $800, 600. It's a lot. So I'm all braced to get this expensive bill. And she's works second shift. She says, I'm going to have them call you. You just deal with the car. And so they have the notes to call your phone. So I'm like, okay, I'll do that. So the guy calls me and he says, the tires look good. There's 5 seconds. We don't replace them until it's down to 2 seconds. You're going to be fine, probably for a whole other year. I'm like, great. I don't have to spend $800 on 4 new tires. And then he's like, well, the radio issue you're having, it's going to be $800 to get a new radio. So there's an entertainment system issue with the car. Something popped and exploded, and I don't know, they needed a new thing. So I avoided an $800 expenditure, and I have a new unexpected $800 expenditure. So like, I can't win for losing. And in hindsight, I'm glad I don't have to pay for both, because that would be even worse. But it's just my life, you know. I thought I would be out $800. I'm gonna be out $800, but this is not the tires. So just like that is what it is. And yeah, crazy. And then we have to do the Christmas gifts, and we've got to do. Oh, I'm bleeding cash. It's crazy.
I'm dreading next week, to be honest with you. Next week, my car goes into the shop, and I got the estimate, it's going to be $1,600 worth of work.
Sucks, man.
It does. And it took me a long time to text the shop this. Of course, I'm working with the dealer because, hey, it's the kind of car, it's like they prefer you work with the dealer. I'd rather work with the garage, but whatever. I said, look, if there's a cost-effective way to do this, let me know. Have I heard a text message back yet? No. So next week is going to cost a lot of money.
Yeah. We already put the word out. We're like, to my son, who we try to spoil during the holidays. We're like, look, this is going to be a light year. You gotta like brace for it. But it's not that he's going to be wanting for stuff. We got some pretty cool things, but I'm just like, look, it's tough out there. So yeah. So that was a weird thing that happened, and I'm like, okay, so it is what it is. But
yeah, this has been between the Friday sales and whatnot to try to get some things for the holiday season, and then of course your wonderful dealer saying, it's going to cost $1,600. It has been a very tight holiday season. And oh, by the way, I'm still dealing with a Chapter 13, 9 payments in, 51 to go. So like, this is rough. It's rough stuff.
I was talking to someone today. I'm like, there should be a new holiday called Head of Household Day, because I was talking to someone who is exactly my boss, Patricia. I mean, she's has the same role I do. I handle all 3 cell phones. I handle all 3 cars. I handle the insurance. I handle the health care. I pay all the bills of the utilities of the house. I do the taxes. Like, I run this house like a corporation, and the wife doesn't have to deal with any of that stress, and my son doesn't have to deal without any of that stress. I'm like, do you know? I'm like, he's gonna be in for a rude awakening, because like when he's 26, he's 21 now. Like, we can't have him on our insurance.
5 years.
And the next car he buys, because his car is 9 years old. Oof. I mean, it might last 5 more years, but it's not going to last forever. I'm like, that's got to be all on him. And the cell phone, he's got a 2-year cell phone. I'm like, when that runs out, he's got to get his own cell. So slowly, he's going to start coming off of the corporation that is Haas.
Yeah.
And I mean, not that I'm complaining. I love doing it, but I'm just like, man, like, it would be nice to just
it would be nice.
Now we, the way Tracy and I have it, we've structured our life where, I mean, she's not just, I mean, we it's not all my money, but it's the management of it.
You're the money manager of the household.
Anything that has an issue, Matt, dad, and it just is the way it is. But there should be like a Mother's Day, a Father's Day, and a head of household day.
HOH Day, which,
Yeah.
it's either HOH revolves around, Big Brother or taxes. And they both kind of mean the same thing in the sense that the HOH is responsible for the
Well, we
house.
just had open enrollment close for healthcare, so I had all that figured out, and I'm maxing out that flexible spending account.
Rich says Matt is Hasselhoff loading. Hasselhoff loading.
I love Hasselhoff, baby.
Don't hassle the Hoff.
He is an amazing specimen.
Who loves his Wendy's. How old is that clip? And I still bring it up? Yeah, sure, I do.
So, but yeah. Now this weekend is going to be pretty silent. I mean, I don't have a lot going on this weekend, but I've got plans next weekend. I'm going to see a hockey game in Reading, Reading Royals. Now, this is not the same league as the Bears.
Yeah. It's a lower league, I think.
Say again?
It's a lower league?
Yes.
Yeah.
It would be the equivalent of AAA baseball would be them.
Right.
So that they don't go for the Calder Cup. They go for a different cup. I forget what it's called. Anyway, but they're a lot more scrappy, and they're a lot more aggressive.
Right.
It's a great show. So I got that plan, and then we got Fogo next week.
Fogo on the following week.
18th. Yeah, so I got plans. I'm gonna see the hockey game on the 11th. We're gonna eat Fogo on the 18th, and then the next Saturday is Christmas.
There you go, and it's right into the holiday season, right into Christmas, and then the week after that you got New Year's, and then we're into 2022. Jamie raises a good point. She says, "But what if you have to hassle?"
I have to think through what that would be like. What do you do? Like throw an effigy at a hassle that is David?
Yeah, and Rich says, "Oh, don't have to hassle, Jamie. It's never worth it." Oh, wrong graphic. That's the right graphic. Thank you, Ecam. Appreciate it. Don't have to hassle, Jamie. It's never worth it. Austin raised a really good point, saying, hearing Matt talk about all his expenses makes me appreciate what my parents do for me. I have to pay for my phone, I have to pay for my car, and after 6 months, I have to pay for my insurance.
Yep. But with the way my life is structured, my son is in college, and I'm like, look, the best formula for success is for him to stay heads down and focusing on the school. And my wife and I both work very hard, and it's like if that condition is met, the boy's working hard at school and he's killing it. He's getting great grades. Future looks bright. I'm like, okay. Now he was working a little bit early in his college career. He had a part-time job, and now with the year that shall not be named, he got furloughed, and he just doesn't have a job
1979? Oh.
So he's so I will gladly take care of his cell phone and his car insurance, and like every time he comes to visit, there's like another important document he needs to have, whether it's his registration for the car or the insurance card for the car or a new healthcare card. It's like, there's something taped to his bedroom door. I'm like, you gotta take that document with you.
It's gotta be in triplicate, notarized, all that stuff. Easy says, good morning, what a great morning, coffee and nice day out, ready for today. Good for you, Easy. Good to see you this evening, morning,
He's
whatever.
Our Australian friend, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Mark asks a good question. He asks, what do you and Matt do for work, if you don't mind me asking? I do something.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I work, I'm a pre-sales consultant for a software company.
Well, my day job is a business analyst for an education publisher. So I make things better, faster, cheaper by documenting processes. So who does it? What sequence does it get done in? And how long should it take? And I control all the schedules for the company. And along with that is a lot of tech, a lot of organizing assets. A lot of my previous roles were in a tech where, think of college textbooks, how many images and art pieces are in there. So I managed millions and millions of assets, cataloging them. So I'm very good at ontology and hierarchy and things like that. And I have a tech angle too. So there's XML and the different publishing technologies, stuff like that. That's the day job. And I love it. See, here's the secret to life. You do something that you love, you'll never work a day in your life. So that's why I said, at the top of the show, I worked 2 hours at my full-time job and I had off the whole day, but I wanted to do it. Anyway, and then in the evening, I run a company called matthaas.com, which is like the umbrella corporation, and all my other endeavors happen through there. I do freelance web development, and I used to do graphic design work. I don't do that anymore. And I used to do website development for small and medium-sized businesses, usually WordPress websites, but I did use Drupal back in the day. And I've tried my hand at selling physical goods. I made lawn ornament candy canes out of wood that were 22 inches high and 8 inches. And I sold 2 bundles of 6. So I sold 12 candy canes for a grand total of $180. So I'm $40 in the black after my expenses. So, and I busted my butt for 2 weeks. So for 2 weeks, I earned 50 cents an hour. When it's all said.
It's what they call a labor of love, Matt. A labor of love.
And I run my YouTube enterprises. I have 4 YouTube channels. And one I have the ad revenue on because it's monetized. But the other ones I do an equivalent of super chats, but through stream elements. And I will have Patreon, and I've got a few other income streams. I wrote a book. You can buy my book, which is just a blank lined journal, but it's still a book, and I'm credited as the author, so I'll claim that I'm an author.
It's got an ISBN number and everything.
It does, yeah. It took me 1/2 of a lunch to make this book. That's you can go if you go on Amazon.com and just search Matt Haas, MATTHAAS. You don't even have to subcategorize it. Just searching books, I'll come up as the first return. You'll see where troubles melt like lemon drops journal. I don't. Anyway,
we can put some false wording around it. You say you can laugh, you'll cry, it'll touch, it'll touch your heart, and it'll make you think. And it's
I have a pretty good description on. Yeah, here let me call up what I've actually wrote as the product description for my thing.
While you do that, Rich is reminding us with respect to the year that should be not named. It's 2 years running, Matt. And he says both years can suck it as far as I'm concerned. Okay,
here's the description of my journal as it appears on the Amazon.com Realtor. It says, this journal is great for keeping memories, taking notes, making to-do lists, and, of course, capturing daily journal entries. Ideally, writing in this journal will make your troubles melt like lemon drops, period. Full stop. I don't know. I just have fun. I like to sell stuff. I have a course. I teach people how to create a YouTube channel and how to be awesome at YouTube. And, I'm out there. doing what I love to do on video, having people come along for the ride. I teach people some stuff along the way, and the income sort of dribbles in.
Mm.
It's fun.
And it's you know what, it's fantastic, and I yeah, it's really cool. It is really cool.
And believe me, I love when people support me monetarily. And YouTube is a brutal business. They'll pay you about $1 for every 1,000 views. That's all you get, $1. So like if you
$1.
want to go on Patreon or you want to go on one of these stream elements or buy me a coffee and give me $1, like that is a huge step forward. Like that's the equivalent of you watching 1,000 pieces of content from me. And all this content is not free to make, and it's doesn't make itself. So you need time and energy. So I do appreciate, I don't ask for help monetarily, but I'm very appreciative of those that do throw a few pennies my way, because it does help a lot more than you probably know. And I'll never be mad at someone for throwing me $1 or $3. All of it's good. Even one time. It helps.
Yeah, you use Stream Elements. I use Buy Me a Coffee, and you
I
can
use
see
that too.
down there, Buy Me a Coffee / Venture Forward.
Well, that funds Rex's addiction, I believe.
That's correct. It does. But parenthetically, mine too.
And those two careers seem intellectual for me, says
So Mark says, I love my work till I got sober. Now I ain't the same. Don't think it'll change. I don't think I'll change. Done the same work for 10 years, and those careers seem too intellectual for me. Ha. And Rich says, with this book, you will need to write between the lines.
Well, you should. I mean, you could just look at the blank pages and get enjoyment out of it. Maybe.
Perhaps. Could happen.
I just thought it was cool. I'm like, how fast can I publish a book? So I'm like, I got an hour for lunch. Let's see if I can bang this out in a half hour. And I found a company that will it's sort of like Canva, but it's made for Apple, or it's made for Amazon Publishing, and you drop in your artwork and it puts the crop marks on it and then dumps it out perfectly for you. And then there was a free downloadable, PDF document with the lines in it, and formatted recto verso, like all perfect. So I literally just downloaded the interior of it and then just re-uploaded it into the system. And I found a royalty-free background image of poppies. I did make this in Photoshop. That took about 15 minutes, and I dropped my logo on it. And then this spit out the PDF that was the cover. Bingo, bango, bongo, I uploaded both those assets into the Amazon Publishing thing and hit go and wrote a description, and it was live.
Bim, bam, boom.
Yeah, it's fun.
Jamie says you can change careers whenever you wanna. And Mark says, "Come to England. I'll give you yours a job roofing."
Dude, when I was out of high school, my friend said, "We need to redo the roof on my parents' house. Why don't you come help me? And my mom will make dinner for you every day, and she's an excellent cook." And so I went there for a week, and we tore the roof off, laid down the felt, and put the shingles back up on it. And when we were done, this was in 1994, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
My friend said, "Matt, you did a great job." The son of the parents who he says, "Matt, you did a great job on this roof." He goes, "I got a great idea. Now that we know how to do it, why don't you and I do this for a living, and we could earn $8 an hour." I was like, I'm going to stop you right there. And this was in 1994 money.
Right.
So this was probably the equivalent of $20 an hour. I was like, you couldn't pay me $800 to do this work. This is back-breaking work. A bag of shingles, only 20 shingles, is heavy. Hauling them up on the roof and swinging that hammer and squeezing the car. I'm like, and then I put a roof on my parents' house. I'm like, this is it. I will never put another roof on a house ever again. It is
Not happening.
hard work.
Not happening.
I appreciate people who do that for a living. It is, my hat goes off to you.
Easy says, my job taught me how to be more kind, considerate, and helpful. It changed my life.
Awesome.
Jamie says, my roofs would cause riots. They'd be so bad. And then Austin says, I helped my dad's friend build our porch. He paid me at the end of it and said I did a wonderful job. So similar story going on there. Rich says, is there a ceiling on the amount you can earn? Is there?
Well, it depends. If you're working by hour, yeah. If you trade hours for money, then there's definitely a ceiling. The trick is to not do that.
The barter system can only work so far.
No, you have to sell your intellectual property or sell something physical, and that's when things explode. Or have your money make money. You know, there's working is there's a ceiling. Even a lawyer that makes $100 an hour, there's a ceiling that they're
a lot more than that.
Well, even if they make $400 an hour, there's only so many hours you can work.
That's right.
So you're capped. People that have obscene amount of wealth, they're not on that level. They're having their money make money, and they're having you got to think different than that. But
Mark says, I wouldn't even pay my guy who makes me coffee £8. LOL.
Yeah. I was just like, dude, I'm like, obviously my friend was not that smart. He was just not that smart, but I wasn't even having it. I was like, the answer's no. End of discussion. There's no way I will entertain doing this for a living, because it was back-breaking work. But man, I was in shape. I felt good, putting in labor all day. I was tired, but yeah, it was a rewarding experience, but not for a living, not for me.
Easy says, I've done roofing back in 1994 to 1996. My boss told me to bring up 10 packs of 20 shingles up on the roof by ladder, and I brought up 20 packs, and he said I only need 10 packs.
Yeah.
He loved the work when he was younger.
I watch obviously a lot of YouTube, but one of the things I watch is a carpentry channel, and that's most aligned with what I do and with my wood shop. Although I'm not a carpenter, I craft things out of wood. I don't put walls up and build houses. But carpenters have it the work. They get paid the least. Plumbers, electricians, HVAC, those are the high dollars. The scraps. And a lot of carpentry work is going to places to get estimates and then not even getting the job. So you got to drive and you got to put in all the work to do the report, and then they just reject it because they think that they want to do shelves around their entertainment system built into the wall, from wall to wall, ceiling to floor, and they're like, okay, this will be probably $14,000. Oh, I was hoping you could do it for $900. I'm like, the materials aren't even $900. That's the expectation. It's harsh. It's a harsh thing.
Mark started out with a van, a couple of tools, and a few thousand, and built a business through his hard work. And Mark continues to say he never really had a brain, so he used his hands instead.
Dude, I love the effort that Mike Rowe and others are putting into the trades. I mean, millionaires. Do you know that the probability of being a millionaire is 1, you're an engineer, 2, you're a plumber or electrician. Plumbers and electricians are making bank, who work for themselves. They're making bank. It
Major
is
coin.
No joke. And we're losing the talent. It's harder to find people to go into these trades. I am all for pushing young students into the trades because it is a legit life skill that is lucrative.
Robotics and artificial intelligence don't substitute for that sort of work. Not in 2021. So we need it. We absolutely need it. Easy
Also,
says, bricklayers over here make about 26 to 30 bucks an hour just by placing bricks on the scaffold for bricklayers and mix cement and wheelbarrow.
yeah. Oddly enough, teachers and accountants are often millionaires because those professions are all structure, putting things in order, doing things first, and that works in the finance world, taking money off the top and investing it. So, and teachers do not get paid a lot of money,
No.
but yet the percentage of millionaires who are teachers is higher than you think. And it's all because of it's just the mindset. You think like a millionaire would have to think by doing that profession. It's pretty amazing.
That's what they say. If you think like a millionaire, more times than not, you'll at least try to develop that sort of habit, that sort of energy. And in the case of a teacher, the surprising percentage therein, it talks to exactly that. They have the mindset, and the mindset at least puts them down the right road. Whether or not they are able to execute also talks about the municipality they live in as well. Austin says he thought about becoming a welder at one point, but
Oh,
then he started cooking and just liked it more.
welders make a crap ton of money. I caution people who do underwater welding, that rakes in the money, but it is a very lethal job in some cases. Like if you're welding, a lot of it has to do with water that drains. Like sometimes, there's big water tanks. Sometimes you need to do work. It gets clogged. It's very, very dangerous. But welders, I took a welding class. It was one of the funnest things I've done in the last decade is take a all weekend welding class at my friend's large farm property where he put us up overnight. It was a great skill to learn. I like to say glowing glue dries instantly because the weld is red hot. Anyway.
Jamie says, I decided if I don't like occupational therapy, I could be a tattoo artist, and we definitely need trades. Maybe I'd consider that if like busy work. So Mark said,
My
I had a
point is,
concept and thought, sorry, I had a concept and thought, can I learn what everyone needs and have? So I went into roofing. So there you go. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, no, it's solid. It's solid work. People need roofs. They only last 20 years. Houses last longer than 20 years. There's always work to be done. Yeah.
I would be interested in anyone who invests in shares. I like the idea of it, but I don't like the idea of my money disappearing if it goes wrong, Mark says.
Invests in shares. What's that mean? Like in the stock market?
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what he meant.
Oh, well, what you do is you get your S&P 500 and you get your safe stuff and you
Index
just let it.
funds.
Yeah, you just dollar cost averaging, baby. Hey, when I was out of high school, just out of high school, my buddy and I were like, we should take a course at the community college on investing. Not a whole degree, just one class. And we're like, yeah, that sounds like fun. Something to do over, a couple days a week for 4 weeks or 5 weeks. And we took this course, and the thing I took away from it was dollar cost averaging. They
DCA.
really taught us what that is and the benefits of it. And I started squirreling what little I had on a regular basis from that moment forward. And it has changed the trajectory of my life irrevocably. And, It wasn't something I learned in high school. We did it outside of high school just for funsies. And we took this course, and it was the best thing I've ever taken.
Yeah, I mean, the ability to invest, I think, is a skill set I'm hoping is taught a lot more in secondary school, in high school and whatnot, because it's a life skill, especially the way, we talk about things like cryptocurrency and that sort of concept. We have to have teenagers be a bit more advanced in that department and be a lot better off than us Gen Xers were.
It's funny because like millennials missed the boat, but what are the ones after millennials? There's
Gen Z.
Gen Z, and like they are all about FIRE, FIRE, which is RE is retire early, financial independence, retire early. And these young kids, they'll have rental properties, they're all about the long term. Like that, something happened in society where it flipped and they figured it out. I don't know if it was just easier to share the knowledge, or it just became hip or cool to kind of do this. And they're not playing. Like, they're not the ones spending the money on the coffee. They're the ones doing the slow investing, the safe return on the money. They're buying things that can earn them money instead of throwing things away. They're driving economical cars. I don't know what it is. That generation is just dialed in. They're going to run the world.
Money management is huge. Most children become adults and don't know how to use it properly, Mark says. And Austin is a hater of the term Gen Z. He's Gen Z, so he's allowed to say that. So is there another term for Gen Z? Anyone let us know in the comments.
Am I X? Because the boomers are a little bit older than me. And then what was right after boomers? I think it was Gen X.
Yeah, technically I'm an X, but some people refer to my year as an Xennial because I borderline.
Okay. Yeah, we but man, yeah, that one group, man, they've got it. They're not like millennials. Millennials are like the avocado toast, and they're just, but man, they've got it dialed in. I mean it, because my son's 21 and my boss's son is 24, and his friends, they are all super smart about all this crap, and they're doing things that most people my age, I understand it, but most people my age don't understand. They've got the properties, they've got, they're working for the tech companies, they're working for the gaming companies, and they're doing stuff. They're not just blowing their money. They're smart with it, and I'm all for it.
Jamie says, "Hey, now I'm a millennial." Haha.
Step it up, Jamie.
And Mark says, "Why work for the man when you can work for yourself? But then again, I don't like being told what to do. Something I also need to change going forward."
Well, I'm in both worlds. I work for the man and I work for myself during the evening. And when you work for yourself, ain't no one but you. You get all the glory. You get all the bad news. When the money's not coming in, ain't nobody to look at but yourself. So
you're also the one that has to worry about LLCing or figuring out what corporate structure is important if you're doing your own business, and
So it's there's plus and minuses on both sides. But yeah, it's crazy. I just love it. I love the time that we're in right now, because people aren't taking it anymore. Like, the music industry was just brutal to content creators. 3 seconds of a car going by in the background that's playing Billy Joel, boom, they copyright strike your whole thing. Now, instead of people belly aching about it, now people are going on Fiverr, paying composers to make an original piece of music. They are starting their own record company and putting it in the ASCAP BMI databases. they're putting their own jingles in their own videos on YouTube, and they're getting smacked by the ASCAP BMI, which is an of themselves. You know, they're copyright claiming themselves through their corporation that is that, and then that gives you more favorable options when another copyright. See, if you have two copyright claims, like, you know, you have yourself because you put your 20-second original song as your outro on your edited video, and then you have another copyright claim. Since there's two of them, you don't have one person pulling the strings. If you can say, I want this removed off of YouTube, you're like, no, this other record company says it can stay on YouTube, and then it can. So people are copies. And does that even make sense? I'm just saying, people are playing the game rather than bellyaching.
There's
about
gamesmanship.
The man.
There's a lot of gamesmanship. And speaking of gamesmanship, we have someone named Budget Paul Burke, who's not Paul Burke, joining us. So I will add it because that's Austin.
Hi, Austin.
I have to change the graphic and add the word budget.
Budget Paul Burke, right?
Budget Paul Burke, right?
Good deal. No, but I just love it. People are joining the rat race and winning at it. Look at Harris Heller. He has his own audio company with his stream beats, and that's no different than Columbia Records. But he just did it all himself. He's like, fine, I'll play the game, and now he's making bank. I love it. I love it. What do you think about all of this, Austin?
Austin, think about this for a second, and Matt, please weigh in on this. Sammy says something very interesting in the comments, and I don't know if this is right. But Sammy says his parents are boomers too, and his grandparents are WW too.
Sammy's parents are ancient.
How?
Beats me. But Sammy's parents are ancient.
So we're talking what, six? I'm trying. My mind is blown right now.
Boomers now are around 60?
67. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Sammy says I might rent out a studio next year for the TV show. I didn't know there was a TV show.
Is it a $600
that might
studio
be
apartment? I
didn't know if he was going to NatP to sell it as well. What's going on? You guys are selling a syndicated show? What's going on?
Beats me. He didn't tell me. First time hearing about it. Sammy doesn't tell me anything.
They're 55 and 58, I think. Oh my god. All
okay,
right.
so Sammy's 17, so I guess.
Is what it is.
It is what it is, right?
The biology technically works out, but
that's on the upper end of it, though.
Yeah, it's like close to the female being infertile.
Doctors want to add a comment in the comments, let us know. That'd be great.
Does this phrase apply to Sammy's superstar? Immaculate conception.
December 8th.
Well, you know, when you die, unless you say otherwise, your loved ones can technically electrocute your prostate, and then force you to, and then yeah. So talk about a deadbeat dad.
Oof. Oh my. Boy, that got dark real quickly.
This show took an interesting turn.
Yeah, that's
I'm just saying, I mean,
that's what happens when you get the budget Paul Burke. It turns macabre. It's got a macabre sort of thing going on now. Sammy's laughing. But Sammy's always laughing.
Yeah.
And Jamie says, wow, just wow. And Owen Wilson, wow.
Speaking of Owen Wilson, I am so sad that he did not say wow in Loki. I'm upset. I was waiting for it the entire season, waiting for him to say wow.
And he failed to impress you. He disappointed.
Yeah.
But that's not the first time Owen Wilson's disappointed people. Easy says I'm Gen X, or he's Gen X. Yeah, I believe you are Gen X.
Good deal. But again, I just love that people aren't taking it anymore. People are figuring this stuff out and they're making smart choices. And it's going to be a different world when these people start start getting in the positions where they can make a big impact.
Well, it's like the speech and network, isn't it? When he
I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it
That's
anymore.
exactly right. I'm mad as hell. I'm not going to take it anymore.
I love it. The point, the one line in that movie that made the whole movie what it is he was like, "Why the hell me? Why'd you pick me? 'Cause you're on TV, man. That's why." That was the reason. The whole freaking reason was just because he was the face in front of the population. Okay, it's not more difficult than that. Yeah.
I'm mad as hell, and I don't have to take it anymore. And then you have everybody in the street yelling it. Classic scene.
Show.
Classic scene.
Great show.
But it's funny, given where we are in 2021 and the year after the year that should not be named, how close we are to doing exactly that. I'm mad as hell, and I don't have to take it anymore.
Well, people are starting to figure out that news is very different than they thought news actually was.
Mm.
And there's been a couple events in society where people are like, wait a minute, you told me this, but it's really this. A lot of people are waking up to some crap.
Right, and I think when the common sort of thing you tell, your parents or your family who are boomers, that you have to be an educated consumer of news, 3 or 4 sources before you start taking something as gospel. That's where we are with the news landscape these days. It is very much a real thing. The adage that I always say is my best news comes from Twitter in 140 characters of an AP story. That's it, because it tells me the who, what, when. That's all. I don't want an opinion. I just want who, what, when, where, how. That's it.
Exactly. The feature of YouTube I love the most, never talk about it, is don't recommend this channel. There's a little pull down menu and you can flip that on your recommendation shelf and you can say, don't recommend that channel. And every time I see broadcast news, NBC, CBS, Fox, boom. Now they're starting to, the stuff, because they try and force it on you. I want independent content creators talking about current events. That's how I get my news. And so now that I've banned all of the big corporate, now it's like NBC Philadelphia Channel 8. Like, okay, now that one's got to go. And even like Conan and the late night, all of it is off. I want nothing but independent content creators for my entertainment and especially my news.
This is a little bit of a shameless plug, but I give Clayton Morris a lot of credit, and I do subscribe to his show in the morning. I mean, he is an independent journalist. He does come from a background of doing news for Fox Business, but his demeanor, his story, along with his wife, is very independent. Very independent. He'll attack both sides, left side, right side, and he says on his show, be prepared to be uncomfortable because they're talking about everything. Now, granted, with a financial spin, because that's the world he comes from, but I have serious respect for independent journalists.
I love it. There's a web extension called NewsGuard, and NewsGuard rates the source, not the author of an article, but where the article is published, and they'll say this has been accurate, less accurate, more accurate, and it's independently rated and reviewed
On a dial.
So it's a good barometer. It's not the end all be all, because you could have a rogue author, in one organization. But anyway,
I want to see if I could bring this up. I about a month ago, hang on a second. A little bit unprofessional as I'm trying to do 2 things at once over here, but the journalist creed. It's something that came out of the Missouri School of Journalism. I think it's something that, when we are doing what we're doing, and Matt, I think I shared this with you, right?
We did talk about this topic. We never did anything with it on
Let me see
stream.
if I can. Let me see if I could bring it up real quick.
Yeah, nowadays it's, if it bleeds, it leads, and just whatever enrages or divides gets the headline. And
Let me see
it's
if I could share my
awful.
screen without causing too much of a havoc over here, given the other technical difficulties that have occurred already on this episode.
You got it. I believe in you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Push those buttons.
Push those buttons.
those
Push them
buttons.
now.
As long as you don't spend 3 hours trying to figure it out, you're good.
Well, if worse comes to worse, I could just read it. But let me see how this works. Anything change?
I heard a flash. Something's different.
Yeah, I just saw a flash.
You're on a different scene or something.
Yeah, let me go to main. That's just me. Hold on. This is getting good. This is getting really good, guys.
Riveting content.
Riveting. That's pictures. That's how about let's see. One more? No, it's not gonna. I'll read it. I'll go back to 3 panel and I'll read it, and then I'll share the. There we go. We're back to us, and I'm gonna just read it. This is the journalist created Walter Williams, 1914. He says, "I believe in the profession of journalism. I believe that the public journal is a public trust, that all connected with it are, to the full measure of their responsibility, trustees for the public. That acceptance of a lesser service than the public service is betrayal of this trust. I believe that clear thinking and clear statement, accuracy and fairness are fundamental to good journalism. I believe that a journalist should write only what he holds in his heart to be true. I believe that suppression of the news for any consideration other than the welfare of society is indefensible. I believe that no one should write as a journalist what he should not say as a gentleman. That bribery by one's own pocketbook is as much to be avoided as bribery by the pocketbook of another. That another individual or individual responsibility may not be escaped by pleading another's instruction or another's dividends. I believe that advertising, news, and editorial comments should alike serve the best interests of readers. That a single standard of helpful truth and cleanness should prevail for all. That the supreme test of good journalism is the measure of its public service. I believe that the journalism which succeeds best and best deserves success, fears God and honors man, is stoutly independent, unmoved by pride of opinion or greed of power, constructive, tolerant but never careless, self-controlled, patient, always respectful of its readers, but not always unafraid, is quickly indignant at injustice, is unswayed by the appeal of privilege or the clamor of the mob, seeks to give every man a chance, and as far as law and honest wage and recognition of human brotherhood can make it so, an equal chance, is profoundly patriotic while sincerely promoting international goodwill and cementing world comradeship, is a journalism of humanity of and for today's world."
Well, that's just not
It's not us.
not what happens nowadays usually.
No. But if we stuck to something like that as independent journalists or independent opinion people, which some of us are, I think of what I do on Tuesdays and Thursdays as being an individual or independent sort of opinion person, I have to hold myself to that to a certain degree. Sammy asks, what are your thoughts now since Conan is not on TV and he's doing YouTube and TikTok and now he's a content creator?
Well, my thoughts are broadcast television is jealous of YouTubers because they know YouTubers have a larger audience in most cases than they do. So I welcome anyone making good content on YouTube.
Laura says James Hicks does good news on sports.
I was just on his show right before this. Go check it out. James Hicks
fantastic.
on the YouTubes.
And Sammy says, I feel like TV is going under every day.
Yeah, I was gonna say something about that. I feel like actual cable or even antenna TVs, like who uses that anymore? But the just actual local television is going away.
Well, I mean, Discovery now has Discovery Plus because it's their internet service, and ABC has ABC All Access, and it's all
Paramount Plus for
from
CBS and the Paramount channels, and yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you
So
got Netflix, a big one.
good
Peacock
Netflix,
for
Hulu.
NBC.
riddance, I
Yeah.
say. I can't watch it. If I'm somewhere, I'm like, what are all these interruptions? Oh, commercials? And then when I'm watching the news, it's like, find out what happens, and then they go to commercial. I'm like, you're making me wait. I'm like, Matt, that's how TV works. Duh, get over it. I'm like, no, I don't accept it. I
No.
don't accept that. I'll go to the internet, get my news.
I'm mad as hell, and I don't have to take it anymore.
I hate
I'm gonna be
waiting.
I'm gonna be upset when my YouTube Premium runs out because I haven't had to watch ads for about 3 months now because I had free
Jamie,
YouTube.
Jamie hates commercials.
You will pry YouTube Premium out of my cold dead hands.
Sammy says, with respect to Conan, 8.39 million subscribers. That is crazy, and he's still growing even if he is not on TV.
Yeah.
And Jamie loves YouTube Premium.
I love it. I absolutely love YouTube Premium, but I just don't have the budget for it. I got it for 3 months for free, so I took it.
Go for it, brother. No, I love it. My business is on YouTube. Why wouldn't I have YouTube Premium? I'd be stupid if I didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I love it.
I
People
think
are
about
making-
what kind of TV subscriber I was in the last 5 to 10 years. I used to be a DirecTV subscriber. I used to pay money hand over fist for DirecTV. And then there was a period of a year or two where I was paying for Hulu, for the channels of Hulu. And like, I don't even pay for that anymore. It's like, I'm okay without it. I'm okay. Because if I need to find out news, there are other ways to get that news. And I could certainly make use of the TV subscriptions at the gym since I'm there like 2 or 3 hours a day anyway.
Well, we need to have the Masson, which has the Washington Nationals live baseball. You can only get it through broadcast television. Even
That's the only reason why.
what?
That's the only reason why we still have cable is because of ESPN.
Yeah. We thought YouTube TV would give us live Washington Nationals game, but it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like 5 games out of the whole season, you can watch live for the sports team that we wanted. So that's not a viable option.
MASN was partnered with the Orioles anyway, and they have the Orioles contract and the Nationals contract, and they got MASN, MASN2, and
Masson, yeah.
Masson, yeah, and they try to I believe they're owned by the same people as ESPN, right? It's for me, if I want to watch baseball and they're out of market, I get the baseball package, which is very hard to talk about right now since there's a lockout. Hello, 1994. We're back again, aren't we? But yeah, I go to the individual leagues that I need. And as far as the local teams, I mean, there are ways around it. It's not that I'm going to be clamoring to watch the Phillies anyway. So I'm a Yankee fan.
Yeah. Now I did work for MLB, Major League Baseball, and they are one of the strictest for copyright and this whole region lock thing. And the only way you can get our stuff is this one way. It's MLB, Disney, Harley Davidson, and the United States Marine Corps will slam you for using their intellectual property instantly and with all the weight that they can put behind it. It is legendary how brutal and quick and precise they are of chasing down their intellectual property. I'm serious. You don't mess with those 4 companies. Well, I don't know what you call the United States Marine Corps, but for some reason, that is trademarked. All the other branches don't have a trademark. Only the Marines do. Anyway, it's crazy.
It's crazy. Let's see. Just going through some of the comments here.
Disney will laser tattoos off of people. That's how nuts they are with their intellectual
Sammy
property.
says, "What would your thoughts be if it was like TV but better on YouTube?"
I don't understand the question. I just watch YouTube.
Isn't that basically what YouTube is? It's just
Sammy
TV.
says YouTube TV is great. I have it and I love it. Cut the cable. Yeah, you're cutting the cable, but then you're finding that YouTube TV and Hulu and Fubo and the others are charging ridiculous amount of money now too, just like Sling.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie says, Mark, yep, Mark's so good for that. I got both YouTube Music and Premium for $7 a month because she's a student. So there you go. That's
I think YouTube Music needs to be better because it's got to figure out what the hell it is. Is it an iPhone app or is it in? Because I'm like trying to do YouTube Music on the browser of your computer. It's not. There could be some corporate decisions to make that product better.
I think part of the problem was that they retired Google Play Music and moved everybody to YouTube Music. So there's that sort of switch that's going on there. But then YouTube Music's trying to do something of its own and trying to integrate to YouTube proper. It's a mess. It's a mess.
It is a mess because like I want it to be like Spotify, and I try and do it on the web, and it starts integrating videos and then just music and then covers. I'm like, this isn't. You're making it something it doesn't need to be. But when you do it on the app, it is like Spotify on the app. Like, why does the YouTube and Google is all about making their mobile have the same features as the desktop? But someone with the YouTube Music didn't get the memo. Like,
no.
They're two very separate things.
There was a miscommunication there. I'm going to see if I could do this without causing feedback. I'm going to try to get into a browser window real quick to paste the copy of the journalist creed because I think it's...
What I really want it to be is I want it to be like Pandora, where it has the Music Genome Project, and it just... This song is similar to that song, and it just plays that song automatically next. Like, that's what I really want. I love Pandora.
See, I'm more of a Spotify person than Pandora, but
Yeah.
I like to have the freedom of having my own music, like having a select playlist that I know what's in it and I know what I want to listen
I want
to.
the absolute opposite of that. I just want to say, I want songs that sound like Gwen Stefani's Bananas.
This is Bananas.
Hollaback Girl?
Yep, Hollaback Girl. That's the one.
Oh, that's a throwback.
Gwen Stefani is underrated. She should be way more huge than she is.
Well, Blake Shelton thinks she's incredible.
She's my age. Gwen, call me, baby.
You want her to leave Blake Shelton for you?
Oh, I don't know what you're getting at. What are you getting at, John?
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Don't ruin the fantasy, John. Don't ruin the fantasy.
Come on, man.
Come on.
Love me some Gwen Stefani.
Who doesn't?
Amazing. And the music is actually good. A lot of this pop music is subpar, but hers is, I think, a step above. Just my thoughts.
Budget Paul Burke, do you like the Gwen Stefani?
I used to. I don't listen to her much anymore, but I'm sure I could get back into her. Like when I was like 5 or 6, I would listen to Hollaback Girl on repeat.
Oh, I feel so old. Back when I was in kindergarten, I used to listen to Hollaback Girl all the time. Yeah. Thanks, Austin. Appreciate that.
You don't have to feel old. I'm only 17. I'm still a minor. You're fine.
Freaking A. That's it. I'm gone.
I did Gwen's Don't Speak on the piano.
You're 17. Yet Sammy's 17, and he's got parents who have AARP. So what's wrong with this picture? What is wrong with this picture? Is there like a Benjamin Button thing going on in Sammy's family? What the hell is that about?
No clue.
But, you know.
John, Sammy's really 59 years old. No one's told you yet. Oh, okay. Well, now that makes sense.
I was
Ay,
born
ay,
when my mom was 21, so when Sammy was born when his mom was like 50. So
ay. Oh, my, yeah, that's any OBGYNs in the room that want to put some comments to this. Marilyn says, hi, everyone, with 3 waves and 3 purple hearts. Oh, man. Never ceases
you
to
know
amaze me.
something I've learned from this show is that Matt and I disagree on quite a bit of things.
There's no wrong answer in life, You like what you like.
You know,
Not
you got
wrong with
time
that.
zones, you got the metric system, you got metric versus imperial, and then now you got actually slipped my mind what we were just talking about and we disagreed on Spotify and Pandora.
There you go.
They serve 2 different use cases. I want one use case, you want another. Neither of
But hey,
us is more wrong or right than the other.
opposites attract, so I mean,
Oh,
Yeah.
Paul Abdul. I love Paul Abdul. She's incredible.
Straight up.
That's right.
That's one of her songs.
That's right. They're like opposites attract with the animation and everything. You had to be there. You had to be there.
Was she the artist where they skinnified the feed to make her look more
Yeah,
slender?
that's the one. Mark says we have this thing called BritBox that shows English TV shows. Total waste of $5.99 per month, as it is limited to the worst TV shows Britain has ever made. So no Benny Hill on there? What's up with that?
Oh my goodness.
I watched a single episode of Britain's Got Talent, and I'm just like, honestly, I thought that was more interesting than America's Got Talent.
Well, both have Simon
Couldn't tell you
Cowell,
why.
right?
Yeah, I mean,
Now, were you watching an episode of Britain's Got Talent with Ant and Dec hosting it, or someone else?
I honestly don't remember who was hosting it.
Yeah. Rich says, well, I'm MC Cat and I'm on the mic.
You go, Rich.
And Easy says, good music was 1989 down to 1955. No Elvis Presley. LOL. There's going to be some people in this room that's going to disagree with you. And Easy says, no Beatles. Now there's going to be a lot more people that are going to disagree with you.
Yeah. Beatles are great.
I'm more of a Stones person, but I do like the Beatles.
Oh, the Stones were also really good.
Oh, I love the Stones.
I like old music.
Give me the hair bands, baby,
really-
all day long.
You like your Poison?
Best band ever.
Oh,
Right up there with Motley
not heard
Crue.
of them. Not heard of them. Motley Crue. Oh,
Motley Crue is amazing. I do like my Ozzies, my Skid Rows, my Cinderellas. Yeah.
Easy as Stones and Zepp. Loves his Zeppelin. Loves his
Zeppelin.
let's.
Zeppelin is on a whole other wavelength.
What about Floyd?
That too. They were in the top 200 album sales for decades, multiple decades. Every generation would grab. This is for Dark Side of the Moon. Dark Side of the Moon. It was on the what is it? What are the charts called? The
Billboard.
whatever charts.
Billboard Hot 100.
Seriously, it's unheard of.
Easy likes Ozzy and Akadaka. I'm keeping it local for you Australians there.
AC/DC
Akadaka.
they're not, a touring band. They just were machines with touring.
Ozzy he was in a lot of tours too.
I saw Ozzy in concert. He's amazing.
Jamie
dad's
loves
seen
the
Ozzy
Stones,
popular.
Zeppelin, and the Beatles. Hair bands are solid. Love Motley Crue and Ozzy.
I think if Paul Burke was here, not
The real
budget,
Paul Burke, not budget Paul Burke. Full priced Paul Burke.
because he had a little thing on a post that says, if anyone's doing a comedy sketch and you want my opinions, I will give you consulting for free. And I'm going to take him up on it because I have a comedy sketch with the Led Zeppelin song "Stairway to Heaven," and I want to have him give me some tutelage on how to make that into what it needs to be, because I think I have a funny shtick with it.
You got a funny shtick over there?
I do.
Get
I
some
do.
real wild stuff. I did not know that.
And it doesn't have to do with the meme. I don't know if you saw the meme from Wayne's World where they starts playing Stairway to Heaven and they zoom in on the sign, no Stairway to Heaven. He goes, Stairway denied. You know? And that's like a thing. Like music stores will yell at you if you start playing Stairway to Heaven on the. But my comedy sketch does not touch that topic. It's something unique. I don't push my opinions. I only share them, LOL.
Jamie says, I'm not too big on Pink Floyd. Unpopular opinion, but I do have like 15 songs or so. So what up
You know
with
what
that?
Pink Floyd did on their movie The Wall, okay? On
That was such
VHS, after the credits are rolling, they put a Paramount Pictures compilation of all their movies to a backing music, and it is the most surreal mind f it's an acid trip gone wrong. And you can go on YouTube and if you do like I don't know what the search term would be, like Pink Floyd The Wall VHS post credit trailer, and watch that clip. It is free because like it had like Clash of the Titans where Medusa was stoned, but she opened her eyes, and it was really freaky. Like it was.
Now, to be clear, Matt, it's on the VHS copy and not the Betamax copy.
VHS. It was only on the the
Okay.
VHS. They had this after credit promo of all Paramount movie entertainment, and it was at the time because it's an older movie, and it just was. I think I'm mad as hell. I'm not going to take it anymore. Like that was the same company that published The Wall. Yeah.
Beatles are great. My little is a big Pink Floyd fan, Laura Williams says.
I saw Pink Floyd in concert, if you can believe it. And I wanted to see the floating pig because that's like a thing at Pink Floyd concert, and they didn't have the floating pig. They had two balloon pigs up on the like above the stage, but they were wired in. It wasn't as cool as I thought it would be, but I did see Pink Floyd in concert. That was a crazy show.
Easy asks, do you remember heavy metal animation from the 80s?
I love the heavy metal movie, and with my background in publishing, that movie is riddled with copyright issues between all the artists that appeared as music on that thing. That's why you can't find heavy metal on Netflix or any of the streaming services. You pretty much have to buy the physical media and play it in your DVD player because Van Halen was in it, and there's infighting between everyone thinks they own a piece of it, and but it was a great. And the animators went on to do G.I. Joe. Like it's the same animation style as G.I. Joe is in the
That
heavy metal.
Was that done through DIC?
I don't know who the studio was that did the animation, but if they did G.I. Joe, then it was the same. It was the same studio. That was a crazy movie. I love that movie.
Laura says Ozzy was so funny on his reality show.
I would love to get to know him. He has some speech issues, but make no mistake, he is all there mentally. Like he can't communicate polished. He can. I mean, he can get by just fine, but people underestimate that man, and he's all there, believe me. And he's a cool guy.
Easy says, that's right, Matt. I got a bootleg copy packed away somewhere in his garage.
Yeah, we used to watch it all the time. That was a fun movie. Not a kids movie. There's some very adult themes in that because you think it's a cartoon, it's safe. I mean,
No.
That's what I thought about South Park.
Well, yeah, that too.
How's your Ozzy
I actually
impression?
What's the question?
Matt, how's your Ozzy impression? Asking for your wife Sharon.
Okay, here's my Ozzy impression. Ozzy walks up to the stage, just do the pre-show check, and there's a bubble machine. And he's like, "What the F is this? I'm the mother effing Prince of Darkness. What do I want Bubbles on an Aussie show for?
Sharon! Exactly.
Sharon!
Easy says
He
it's
was,
not a
yeah.
kid's movie. He likes a taxi cab script on heavy metal.
It's my Lochnar.
For all your worst Ozzy Osbourne impressions, VF Talks, Friday night, 6:30 Eastern.
The scene I like in heavy metal was when they went to the planet and the ruler, the king of the planet, was a young teenage looking dude, and they're like, well, what are you gonna do if I just take it? He says, you die, she dies, everybody dies. And the guy was invincible. They were shooting him with bullets and he was auto healing. He was like an eternal, and I don't know, it was just, you die, she dies, everybody dies.
Mark met Ozzy at a signing. At a signing, he was bonkers.
I would love to meet Ozzy Osbourne. I really would. He's a cool guy, a lot of energy, creative, and again, don't underestimate him because he has all of his faculties. He just can't speak very well.
My dog's trying to knock my phone out of my hands.
I was wondering if your dog was up to no good. There you go.
Cute puppy.
That's now the
Yeah,
third pet sort of interfering with one's live streaming today. So there you go. You got the trifecta there. Bruce tried to come in and be number 4, but didn't do it.
Yeah, Paul's got cats. Budget Paul's got dogs.
Yeah. There you go. Easy says, I like the court scene on heavy metal as well. A geek turns into a monster and chases the prosecutor.
I like when they're going down his list of what he's being charged for, and it's like a whole long list of all these heinous, horrible crimes against humanity. And at the end, they said, "And one moving violation." Like they just tacked that one on to the end. He's, how do you plead? Not guilty.
Not guilty.
It was a fun scene. Heavy metal. I should try and
I'm going to do a quick test to see if I can get my audio back. I'm going to try to bring up the video from Hershey Park for 1 second. This is just to see the video. I'll go right back to 3-panel in a second.
Okay.
Oh. It's great.
Well, that Ferris wheel's lit up in my favorite color.
Well, there you go. There you go. So there's gonna be no wonderful end credit music either, but you'll know what's coming up next week, and I'll talk about that in a second.
We'll deal with it. We've been going a while now. I'm gonna need a break here. So
any big plans for the weekend before I put a giant bow on this?
I'm gonna be making content all weekend, baby.
Content all weekend. How about you, Budget Paul?
I was thinking about getting my car, but I don't think I'm going to get that till next week.
How does it feel to be licensed, man?
Oh, it's great.
It's awesome. Congratulations.
Except for the gas prices.
Oh, yeah.
We're all dealing with that, brother.
Yeah, everybody's dealing with that. And it'll get back to normal, I think, sometime in 2039. So, yeah.
What do you got going on this weekend, John?
Let's see. Probably going to have to catch up on some work, but also try to figure out a couple other things as well. And, you know, it's a weekend, but, you know, tomorrow morning I got spin class. I'll probably work out, and then Sunday I'll probably go for a hike somewhere. So Sunday's supposed to be nice. It's supposed to be in the 50s this weekend, so I'll use Sunday to go hiking.
So
Sunday
how does it
I'm
make you guys feel that? How does it make you guys feel that next year might be a sequel to the year that should not be named because it's 2022? It's like a sequel.
I'm not thinking about that or commenting on it.
Now I saw one report out there that says that this new version might actually be not as lethal as all previous versions. And if that's the case, that is a blessing and a half and then some.
Yes.
Rich, with the Mixcloud Sunday, yes, definitely watch him. I will definitely be there on Sunday for sure, man. You are incredible, as well as all of you.
I'll be there too, Rich. I'm gonna need some good tunes while I'm making content, or in my shop, wherever I end up being.
I'll be beatboxing and everything. It'll be fantastic.
Good deal.
Well, Matt, Austin. I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you for jumping on, and I'm gonna put a giant bow on this.
Good night. Good night, everyone. Good night, John.
Night.
Night.
Night, Austin.
That was Matt and Budget Paul Burke, Austin, and just great conversations as always. I enjoy the VF Talks Friday night episodes because we get any opinion and every opinion, and it's just a good time whatsoever. Who knew that we're going to talk about the journalist career tonight? Go figure. That's how wide ranging we are, right? Next week on the Venture, we're going to do we're going to do 2 shows about steps. Tuesday night, we're going to talk about the importance of 10,000 steps. So basically how important it is to keep moving. Thursday, we're going to talk about the importance of 12 steps and that of recovery. And not necessarily conforming to a 12-step program, but some of the hallmarks that are indoctrinated within the 12 steps that we can all hold to any sort of thing we're battling. So Tuesday night, 10,000 steps. Thursday night, 12 steps. Both episodes, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. And then 1 week from tonight, we do it again for another VF Talks at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. Some final comments before I put a giant bow on this. Jamie's wondering what time Mixcloud Sunday is. I believe it's 2:30 on Sunday, but Rich, just go ahead and let us know in the comments real quick, and then I will go ahead and put a bow on this. Jamie, night guys, always a pleasure. Jamie, good night to you. Good night to all of you. Rich, there we go. Thank you. Rich's show is on 2 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, 7 p.m. UK time, 11 a.m. Pacific. So 2 in the East, 11 in the West, 7 in the UK. Rich has a great show, great content, great mix. I love love the music that he has on his show, and he's just a great guy. And just like all of you, you're fantastic people. I love all of you. But on that, I'll say the same thing I say at the end of every Venture Forward in VF Talks. Stay safe, stay sane, stay strong, stay sober. You're worth it. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you Tuesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific for the next episode of the Venture Forward when we talk about 10,000 steps. Have a great weekend. Good night.